Peace and blessings, everyone. This is Misal Bay, aka Warlock Asylum, coming at you once again with another episode of Raw Talk. And uh, just figure, it's a nice day out, and New York City is a little bit frigid out there. But just before I get ready to run out the house, I want to switch it up a little bit and talk about the political world and what's going on now and how it's going to affect us. You know what I'm saying? Because Trump was impeached for the second time, and there was a lot going on this year. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff that was going on politically, and what does that mean for the average individual? Well, one thing that Trump's impeachment, the second impeachment, it set a precedent. And the precedent is basically that social media can shut you down. If you don't like, and how it came through an outcry of the people because a lot of people wanted to see Trump out, right? However you feel, this way or that way, evidently it was kind of intense on either side of the coin. I don't understand how people can get inside the White House to film what was going on with security in front of them. I have no idea how that was possible. But in any event, you know, um, the people who are neutral, people who feel one way, people who feel another way. The main thing is at the end of the day, the precedent was set that if you speak your mind, you could be banned from society. And although the Constitution guarantees freedom of speech, right? Um, when you're on someone's platform, like a Twitter or a Facebook, you have to abide by those rules. So those rules may be indifferent. If these companies had your interest at heart, or if the government was involved in the intensity of people's or citizenry interaction with media, then they will make sure that those platforms respect the Constitution. But it's a way to sidestep. It's called the color of law, but it's exercised through the medium of Twitter, Facebook, and things of that nature. And basically, American media has become a dictatorship. If you can make a good deal and can get on the good side of the media and fund some money, you can make the world look however it wants to look. Who knows what's really going on in the summer? All we know is that the media, was targeting certain people. And, at the end of the day, now that the election is over, there's been police shootings, but you don't hear about it because the election is over. So it's a voice of dictatorship. It encourages people to think a certain way. And, who's ever behind that conglomerate, um, you're living in a society now where you really don't have too many choices, even though it seems like a lot of things are available to you. Um, but you really don't have a lot of choices now because if you speak out against, what is popular or what you don't co-sign with, everyone wants to make it look as if you're strange, or you get banned because it's inappropriate. I mean, on some levels, I do understand that today's society in America is a lot different because there's different people from different countries. So instead of like sticking to the old way, the media, to make sure everyone feels comfortable, appropriates things with that in mind. So, a person may run off at the mouth, but that could be offensive to someone from another culture, and so you try to make this medium, especially in the work environment, things of that nature, where everyone could feel comfortable speaking and keeping it about the the pursuit of happiness and about the pursuit of getting ends meet, things of that nature. But the bottom line is that you can't say certain things anymore. Um, some ways that's a good thing, And in some ways, there's some situations going on, none of these voices are going to get heard. So that's the thing about it. People are being banned from uh, Facebook, they're being banned from Twitter. Um, and, it's just an interesting situation because it sets a precedent about, how deep someone could stifle your voice. You know what I'm saying? And in some ways, Americans are living in two governments at this point because of the power that's given to social media and other platforms. And that power could be flipped because a lot of these social media companies have huge contracts in countries that America has friction with. Maybe their contracts is proportionally huger than what their situation is in America. So whose interests are they going to cater to? And in some ways, that sabotages American policies and Americans' interests. Things of that nature. So it was interesting for me. I did post this on Facebook and Instagram, but a lot of people didn't get it. From my opinion, it looked like, and I use these terms not in the sense of complexion, because, that's another trick that I'll talk about another day. But, I would have to say what was, black before the election became white after the election, and what was, white before the election became black. Where everybody who, Trump put some messages out there where, people thought that, he was going to try to clean out, the deep state and the corruption in government, things of that nature. And so, um, his ploy with the election results, he got a lot of people riled up. You know what I'm saying? Um, Maybe that's something or a topic that should have been approached much earlier, because there are situations much earlier, political elections that, could have either went one way or the other, but they were definitely influenced, and I'll try to do a video on that in the future. Um, and so they felt that, certain things wasn't happening right, and, you know, this was their last chance sort of thing to, and after this, America's going to go downhill. I can understand people protesting, and fighting for what they believe in. And some levels I could see, how that, their gripe, with what's going on. However, on another level, if you start getting into this thing of the last chance and last hope, then that starts getting into hero worship. Separate the issue, from, let's say, the individual, because if it's been going on with the president, it's been going on. No one's going to try that with the presidents first. They're going to try that with small cities. They're going to try that with mayor elections. They're going to try that with government elections before they start steeping into presidential elections. And that's how that works, to be able to pull that off. You know what I'm saying? They've experimented with it before. But when you start getting into, one person or this other crazy stuff, that's where it gets convoluted. But the reason why I say that, the people that were black before the election became white, and the people that were white before the election are now black, is because how the media plays things out. Like with Black Lives Matters, there was a lot of situations going on with that, and people protesting. And, to me, Black Lives Matters, personally, in my opinion, is like how people made money off a prison building. I don't see it necessarily as a solution, but if a person wants to make an outcry and there was some consciousness raised towards the situation, at least now it's a worldwide thing to know that some people here are not getting treated right. Um, on the other side of the coin, those people now are pointing fingers. Oh, look what those people did at the Capitol, this, that, and the other. Perhaps, maybe you should have went to the Capitol when you were protesting, things, for police brutality. I'm not saying, go out there with the intent to take somebody out of here or whatever, but maybe, you know, all those people combined, if they would have went to the Capitol, I'm sure it would have made some difference. Some attention would be deserved. But what the media gives attention to is how we measure progress right now. And that I just think is just silly and just blindsided to how people are being manipulated and controlled. So now the people who rushed the White House, I mean, it wasn't, some of them, maybe they made them out of doing something, but they were just was at the wrong place at the wrong time and maybe around the wrong people and just was encouraged to up the ante and, got arrested. That's not me sympathizing with anybody. It's just the reality of what it is. However, the people who were protesting during the summer about police brutality, they're now laughing at those people. You hear them online, social media, and that's why I say, what was black before the election is now white, and what is white before the election is now black. So this is the direction that things are going in because people are not paying attention to how the world is being controlled and manipulated. And on some levels, there is a guiding force that, and there's some lessons to learn that man will learn. We will get beyond this time period and we will be able to surge into something better, but we just have to be aware of what's going on around us. This is Misal Bay, aka Warlock Asylum, coming at you once again with another episode of Raw Talk. Have a great evening.